Hey there folks, I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. We've got something from Augusta, Maine brewery, Cushnoc. These guys are relatively new. I think they've been around for almost 2 years now, it seems like. I could be way off on that, I'll have to look it up. But this is a Very Stable Genius. Oh, that was awful. That was just awful, I shouldn't have done it. This is an Imperial Double Stout. Comes in at 10.2% ABV and was bottled back in January. It is July now, so it's been aging in the bottle for a little while. Picked this up at Meridian's in Fairfield, first place I actually saw Cushnoc's brews, and it looks like they're just bottling a few things and they're going pretty generically for now, so hopefully there's more. They do have some very solid offerings down there, and they also have guest breweries come in and do a semi-tap takeover sometimes. We just were down there for the first time a couple weeks ago, and Diversity Brewing was in there. So I'll have some videos of Diversity Brews coming up pretty soon too, because they had some solid offerings as well. But that's enough about that. I'm going to see if I can't just gouge the wax seal, because peeling it off might be a tall order right now. There we go. Easy enough. Had a nice, interesting pop to it. It's actually got an odd sounding fizz. I'm going to see if I can get the microphone to pick that up. I don't know if you can hear that, but it actually sounds more like a soda bubbling up out of there. I mean, it's definitely a beer, just look at that. It's highly, highly effervescent though. I got a little aggressive with the pour, but I still shouldn't have that big of a head, but there are tons of bubbles coming up out of there, so it tells me it's an extremely effervescent beer. Looks a little thinner than I would have expected from a double stout. But the color is absolutely dark. I mean, there's a little bit of brown in the thinner part of the glass down at the bottom there, where more light's coming through. Right now I'm just kind of talking to get the head to go down a little bit. But let's take advantage of the fact that it's there. The first couple of sniffs, I'm getting that boozy imperial high ABV. It comes across to me as a sourness. But then underlying that, as I keep going, I'm actually getting some interesting toasted notes. A little toasty. Maybe just a general maltiness. I'm not picking out any particular like grain aroma, just like this. Like a bowl of cereal. It's actually got a relatively light mouthfeel for a double stout. It's not a bad thing. It's going down pretty smoothly. It's interesting. Yeah, that mouthfeel. It's I guess I'd characterize it as medium. And it's also interesting that I was getting a lot of that booziness and that high ABV sourness in the aroma, because I'm not getting a lot of it in the flavor. And the beer's actually drinking very smoothly. Which could be dangerous if it keeps disappearing that fast. It's very smooth. A little bit toasty up front. I'm getting like maybe some molasses and some caramel notes. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be tasting, but I'm getting molasses and caramel. I'm not really getting any hoppy bitterness at all. Maybe some underlying toffee. It's a little woody. I wasn't able to see when I looked up the description if it's barrel aged, but it does have a woodiness to it that would make me think it was barrel aged, but then again, that could just be from the combination of the malt and the roasting of it. Oh, pardon. Well, it's very smooth. It's very interesting. Easy to drink for such a high ABV beer, and I would have never guessed that it was an imperial double stout, just based on how well it's going down. I mean, the taste-wise, it comes through as a stout, but just the mouthfeel, how smoothly it poured, and how effervescent it was, are all throwing me a little bit on the double stout thing. But it's a well put together beer. I'm very much enjoying it. I think it's surprising me more than anything with how smooth and easy a drink it is for an imperial double. So I definitely want to give it at least a 3.5. I think I'm going to push it up to a 4. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. It's a really well put together beer. For all the other reasons I mentioned, I'm enjoying it. The one thing keeping it from becoming a 5 is that there's not a lot of intensity behind the flavors to it. So I'd like to have something that's, you know, a little more in your face with either chocolate or coffee or some toffee or some of the more roasted notes. But that being said, that's really the only thing that could make this beer better, because otherwise it's really well put together. That's why it's scoring a 4 out of 5 instead of a perfect 5 out of 5. It's just not blowing me away, but it is an incredibly good beer. But that's just what I have to say about it. Hit me up down in the comments, the email link down below. Love to hear what you have to say. While you're down there, don't forget to like and share the video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, you'll get a notification every time I post a new one of these. Till next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.